Hello, welcome back. We're going to talk about requirements for PhD in USA. One of them is that you need GRE and TOEFL. For PhDs in Germany, you're required to have very good scores, like have publications, and in some cases, you do not need to have the GRE, which is a graduate record exams. So, this is one of the countries whereby you just need to have very good scores, have a knowledge of, for example, Python and some statistical application softwares in order to study in this country. And this is a position here which is currently ongoing right now. If you're interested in this, please do drop an email. I might probably go and check for it and share with you. So in this position, like I said before, you just need to have a previous experience in the area of expertise they need. You don't need GRE. For PhDs in Australia, within Australia as well, you do not need to have a GRE in order to study within Australia. But in some cases, if you have it, it's better, but it is not compulsory for you to have the GRE score like it is for America, where GRE, the graduate record exam, is compulsory, or in some universities within Canada, where you're expected to have your GRE scores, and it's usually very important. Like in this position, which is currently being advertised right now, you can see that you do not need to have a GRE score. It's a full position, all expenses covered for. You can get up to 30,000 Australian dollars just by studying. All you need to have is to have a mastery of the area which they require you to study. For example, if they are social studies, you need to have a master degree in social studies, and a certain level of publication is very important to show that you are able to document data within the science community. Because in some of these projects or some of these positions, mind you, you're going to work in positions whereby for you to continue receiving grants or fundings, you are required to submit proposals, write-ups, and all of that. So the only way you can prove that is by having publications. And while you're doing your masters, especially people from developing countries or sub-Saharan countries like Africa, our continent, South America, most developing countries, they do not usually publish. Not that they cannot, but they are not given the opportunity to publish within this country. So I'm showing you all of these ones is to tell you that you do not need to spend your time writing GRE. If you want to apply for PhD, there are also other developing countries such as Australia, which I just showed you, that doesn't need you to have GRE in order to study. So this is just a position here. I'm not just speaking from the fact that I heard or that. I'm showing you positions are being advertised. They are currently receiving students in the field in order to study within that. Okay, let's look at PhDs in France. In France as well, you do not need to know French as a language. It's not compulsory, but if you have it, it is an advantage. All you need to have is the basic background in what you're going to study. And if you're from a non-native English speaking country, surprisingly, they'll request you to provide TOEFL. Or if you know French, then you're in the upper hand to study for a PhD in France. They have lots of projects being sponsored for example, this one is 1,769 euros before tax, and that is quite a good sum for anybody who is looking forward to study in France and build his career. France is one of the leading countries globally as far as science is being concerned, so you should consider studying in France. Do not be held back that you need French. No, knowing French is not a compulsory requirement for you to study for a PhD in France. So if you have your master degree, you have publication, and in most cases I encourage people to have either 2 publications in low impact factor journals or maybe 1 in a high impact journal in order to apply for these universities in France. Please Don't waste time writing GRE. GRE is good if you want to study in America, but while you're preparing for your GRE, keep applying for these positions. I know of people who have spent lots of years and money to apply for write GRE, but at the end I'm not getting it. It is good to write GRE, but it is not compulsory for you to have it. You must not have it. So check this position being advertised at in Sorbonne University in Paris, France. So this is also one of the university currently receiving applications. You might be wondering where I get all this from. It is from Twitter. So you should go check my video which I shared on how to look for scholarships using Twitter when you are studying. So if you're interested in that, please do as much as possible go check them out right now. So we're going to look at PhDs in Canada as well. Within Canada, sometimes GRE is required and sometimes it is not required. It will depend on the supervisor where you're going to study. For example, PhD in fisheries science, there's a PhD position in fisheries science which is being advertised right now, and it requires candidates who have a master's degree in a related field, marine studies or related fields, to come study within this program. So Canada could be one of those countries where you can easily get a scholarship just by reaching out to the supervisor in charge, send him a cold email that you are interested to join his team, and he might just consider. Most of the case, before you send it out, make sure you attach your CV, your cover letter, and if possible a scanned copy of your certificate is very, very important. And if you have GRE, you're also on a good match to study within universities in Canada. And usually check out the people. For example, in this case, Dr. Telles, you should check him out, check out what he is studies. When writing a cold email, you don't just write, you should be able to catch the attention of the professor in charge. So in order to do that, you need to go through his profile, check out his area of research interest, everything that he is doing, and then from there you might be able to tell or clearly point out that this is his area. Let's look at PhDs in South Korea, where I'm right now. Korea as well too does not really require GRE. For example, there is this program in KAIST which is SMART and Sustainable Environmental Studies. So this program, all it requires for you is to have a master degree in a related field of target, and it also requires that you should have some level of publications to show that you are able to publish within international journals, and also your credentials at school. Trust us, mind you, universities in Korea, they are not yes it is, but they are not so moved by your GPA. What interests them is if you have publications in high impact journals as first author. I'm not referring as second author. Second author is good, but first author is usually more preferable. This will show that you're able to work on projects. So if you love this video, subscribe, like, share. Bye.